Afternoon, this is Travel Crochet. My name is Tracy. Welcome to another episode. So this episode I'm going to be doing a market recap. So yesterday I had a market. It just happened to be right next door to the caravan park that we're staying at in Bowen here. So it wasn't far away, which was great. Very interesting market is the words that I will use now. Probably would have used different words yesterday. So what happened was this market was run between 8 a.m. and 12 noon on the Sunday. And it was very reasonable this time of year. Is off-peak season for tourists and things, so they only charge $15 to have a stall, which was very reasonable. So we get up in the morning at 5:45 because we saw a message that we could start setting up from 5 a.m. and I thought, well, that's a bit too long, but anyway. I should have known the second that I opened the caravan door and I was hit with a blast of heat, that was going to be an interesting day. So it was 94% humidity most of the day, well, most of the morning, I should say. So people who aren't used to that humidity, we struggled big time. So we headed over, got there just before 6 a.m. and the lady had informed us where our site was, which was great. They had actually the council had mowed the lawn a couple of days before, which was great. However, there was grass clippings everywhere, which meant that I was concerned that if a plushie fell on the ground, it would be covered in grass clippings. But because we do travel full-time in a caravan, we have a very large recycled bottle mat that we usually put down out in front of the caravan that, protects, that we can go outside and wear no shoes or whatever, and protects the area outside the van. So we actually had that in the back of the car. So I asked if we could have permission to put that down on the ground, which we were given permission, which is great. So that would protect us, well, the toys from getting really dirty, but also because of the rain and things that we've had, the mosquitoes and the midges and everything are just like crazy at the moment, and if you're directly sitting on grass, it's worse. So I was very glad to have the opportunity to do that. But not being used to this humidity, and then we discovered when we were trying to put up the marquee, or the tent as you guys in the US say, we realised that one of the poles that attaches to the roof bit, one of the screws had come out, and it was making it difficult for us to be able to put it up. So we're struggling in the heat, and the sun was already blaring down. Even though it was 6 o'clock in the morning, it seemed so hot. So we were struggling to put it up. I think it took us maybe 20 minutes to finally get it up. And by that stage, I was already having trouble of overheating. So got our chairs out and I just had to take a breather. Like every 5 minutes, I literally had to take a breather. It was taking the breath away from me. So eventually set up. I will now show you some footage that I took after I finished setting up, and there's a little moment of me sitting down talking about how hot I felt and talking about the humidity, but we didn't realise until today, this is take 2 of doing this video, by the way. For some reason, the GoPro decided that it wasn't going to record the audio. It recorded the visual, but the audio, there was nothing. So now I will stop and I will show you that segment. I'll just have to put some music behind it because there is no audio that has suddenly disappeared. That shows the setup, so you'll see the final setup. There will be no, at the end of the day, one, which I will explain why in a minute. So we'll stop here. I'll show you that footage and then we'll come back.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Okay, so you can see the setup there. I think I have the opposite problem that I used to have. I have so many items now, and because I don't do the, prep 10 of each item, I have a lot of one-offs. And it's starting to look very overcrowded, and I think it's overstimulating people when they're looking at it. So I really need to try and work out how to fix that issue. But anyway, that's a different story. So I actually have a list here in front of me on my computer screen from Square that tells me my sales and that. And I must say, typically at a market that we go to, as we travel around Australia, because of what we're selling, generally we'll find that the first people generally to attend a market are the older generation that are maybe coming to get their produce, having a quick look around, but usually don't buy from our market stall. It's usually around 10 a.m. that we will start getting the families coming out, or even the grandparents with their grandchildren, and that's the time that they normally come out and start buying. So I usually don't expect the first 1 to 2 hours of a market to sell much. This market, however, was different. I think the locals realised and are experienced in this humidity, so they came out early, and even the families were out early. But saying that, it wasn't many people that came out. I'm actually surprised at how many items we sold. In total, I sold 21 items, which I didn't think I was going to sell that many, because, I just can't explain how. I mean, people that maybe live in Florida or whatever, and I don't even know if you have markets when it's that humid in Florida, because I've never experienced anything like it. Like, normally if we have that humidity, we'd be inside somewhere hiding under an air conditioner, but having to sit out in it, that was just different. Anyway, we'll get to the sales. So I sold 21 items. For the day, there was nothing that sold that was over $15. So it was $15 and under. And surprisingly, there was only one $5 item. It was mostly $10, $15 items, so it was interesting. I didn't think that would be the case. Anyway, the first thing I sold, a lady come up and had this, it's a sitting dog in her hand. And she comes up to me and she goes, "Is this a teddy bear?" Okay, yeah, that's a teddy bear. She wants to think it's a teddy bear. It's a teddy bear. She goes, "Oh, it's so cute. I love this teddy bear." And I go, "Cool." So she bought the teddy bear, sitting dog. And Chris, my husband, he does the Square for me. So we put it through either cash or card. It just keeps a record for us of what we sold during the day. And he's saying to me, "Oh, so what is it?" And I was like, "I'll tell you later." Because I didn't want to say to him, it's under sitting dog. Her teddy bear's not a teddy bear. But anyway, she paid by cash anyway, so that was fine. She was offered, they said it's actually a sitting dog, but she thought it was a teddy bear. So that was funny. But that was at 8:27, our first sale, which is unheard of for us. The next sale was literally 1 minute later at 8:28, and it was the chicken egg, the small one, but the one that I made that was the Stardew Valley colours. And I just happened to, it was a younger couple. Well, not younger, it was, I don't know, early 30s maybe, younger than me. And I said, oh, you Stardew Valley fans, are you? And they go, we're what? They hadn't heard of the game. They just liked the colours of the chicken. So then I had to explain to them what I meant by Stardew Valley. But anyway, so that was the second sale and wasn't to a Stardew Valley fan. Third sale was 3 minutes later at 8:31. So this is just crazy for us because we'd never sell this early. Was a large chicken egg. So definitely so happy that I decided to get on the chicken egg little trend because they are certainly popular. However, the white ones, I'm left with the white chicks. They're not popular, but if you've got the yellow, brown, any other colour chick, that was the popular ones. Anyway, so 3 things by 8:31. Then the next sale was 8:47, and it was Robin's from Knotted Hook Crochet's Mona the Monkey. So I sold that. Then 1 minute later after that, I sold a large cow. And 4 minutes after that, I sold the next thing. So it's just crazy. And that was a medium sea turtle. So my top seller for the day, I have put the category of sea turtle, different sizes, but sea turtles were again number 1. I sold 5 in total, 2 keyring sea turtles, 1 mini sea turtle, 1 small sea turtle, and 1 medium. So sea turtles always popular. And then the second most popular was the chicken eggs. I sold 2 large and the 1 small. Then after that, so by that stage we've reached 9:40. I've already had to go off and I bought like a fresh berry sundae drink because we were like sweating like you would not believe. Like I've never... I actually had to drive our car back to the caravan park because we weren't supposed to park our car there. And as soon as I came back, I put our air conditioner back on in the caravan because I thought, oh, we're going to come back to a heat box. And I had to change my clothes already because I was soaked. So freshened up, got changed, came back, bought a drink, and then like 10 minutes later we were buying bottles of cold water. And I'd already brought some drinks from here that we'd already had. Like we couldn't keep up with it. And then I think it was by about 10 o'clock, my husband Chris was feeling really unwell. And it actually, even though we were drinking and hydrating, he actually physically wasn't able to sweat anymore. So I said, look, I'll go and get the car again because I had taken it back. You go for a drive under the air conditioning and go and get some more drinks and cool down. We were overheating. So I did that. Didn't sell anything while he was gone. Then he came back and I sold... What did I sell next? A shark. And I will have all these patterns that I use, and hopefully I've been putting up pictures for you of what I sold beside me. Then I sold Shrek that I had made, and this time only one of the kittens, the loaf cats, I do the kittens. It was the larger kitten that sold. Normally it was the little ones that sold, but this one was the larger one, but only one for the day. And then a young couple with a baby, dad was holding baby, came, and I wouldn't think that the baby was more than 18 months old, if that. And I had an octopus sitting on the corner of one of the sort of high up stands so the legs could dangle down, and she just grabbed it as he walked past, and she wasn't letting go. And he goes, oh, I guess I'm buying this. And I had to stop him right there because it was one with safety eyes. Because I don't, at the moment, and I don't think I ever will, I don't sell anything that don't have safety eyes. And I said to him, look, I'm telling you now, I do not, and I state, do not recommend these for children under 3 years old, because they're a risk that the safety eyes can come out and it can be a choking hazard. I said, I'll leave it up to you as the parents to make the decision if you purchase it or not. I said, I'm definitely, do not recommend it for under 3s. And they said, thank you very much for telling us that, but we'll still go ahead and buy it. Okay. So they were warned, and they still bought it, so that's fine. So I sold that, and then the day of people misinterpreting what the items are, next there was a mum and her daughter. Her daughter would have been maybe 8 years old, and they're going through, and they saw, when I first started crocheting, I think a lot of people make this pattern, the Crochet Club Triceratops pattern. That's the YouTube tutorial. I made 2 of them, and they were horrendous. They were the worst probably crocheted amigurumi items I've ever made. They do not look like anything, to be honest. They're just blobs with white patches that were meant to be the horns, and so I put it down to $3 just to try and get rid of it. I've had it ever since I started doing markets. And the mum goes to her daughter, oh, look, a guinea pig. I did really not try and laugh, because I don't know how she got guinea pig out of a Triceratops, but it's okay, that's a guinea pig. And they bought it for $3. It was like, I was so glad to be not seeing that anymore, because it was not good. Then after that, I sold the one and only whale shark that I had, and I was actually surprised that it had taken that long to sell that one, because I thought it would be more popular, especially at towns that are right beside the ocean. But finally sold that, and then I sold the small sea turtle and the 2 sea turtle key rings. And we're only 10 to 11 here. And then I sold 1 sesame chicken. Normally I sell probably 2 or 3 per market, but I did sell 1, so we're still selling them. And then a mini cow, and the last item was a grandmother with her grandson. He looked to be about 10 years old, and she goes, do you have any ducks? And it was actually a couple of things that I'd not put out on display, because it was just so full that I had a duck there. And this duck was made with blanket yarn that we can get here in Australia, that's Portercraft brand. It's sort of like some of the other brands I've seen people talk about in the US at the moment, that sometimes you can get the really nice, soft, beautiful feeling ones, and other times it's terrible, it's starchy, it's tough, it's hard on your hands, it feels awful. Well, it was the feel awful one, and the duck that was meant to be like a nice floppy legs and the wings, you could flap. Nothing like that. It was stiff as a board. It felt horrible. She bought it. I'm going, yes, I've got rid of 2 things at this market that I'd had forever, that were finally gone. So it was a bonus for that. And that last sale was at 11:02. And it was at this stage that we were feeling very unwell. Very, very unwell. And the lady that we had to go to, that was the coordinator, she had been going around telling everyone to start packing up, because it was just too humid, too hot. Even the locals who are kind of used to this, well, I don't know that you ever get used to this kind of humidity, but even the locals were just not coping. So, but at this stage, Chris had gotten worse, and I sent him off to go for another drive in the air conditioning. And while I just gradually, slowly started putting toys away, and then I would have to put a few away, sit down, take some drinks, and we had been buying bottles of water and pouring half of it over our head just to try and keep cool enough, because we were just overheating. So yeah, eventually, and then of course, because we had that broken thing in the roof of the marquee, I swear it took us nearly 45 minutes to be able to get that down. And by the time that you're at the stage of getting that marquee down, that's when you've got no protection from the sun. It's the last thing to do. It was so hot. I had to keep sitting in the chair or I was going to collapse, basically. It was horrible. So as you'll see in the title of this video, never ever again will we do a market. If we see in the morning of a market that the weather forecast says that it's humidity, I don't even think I would do over 85%, to be honest, but 94%, that was just ridiculous. We'll never ever. It's not worth it. I don't care that we sold 21 items. It wasn't worth it because afterwards the headache that both of us had was ridiculous. We both felt so sick and unwell. So we came back to the caravan. Thank God I put the air conditioner on earlier in the morning. We had a few more bottles of water and then we laid down and fell asleep. Like, we were out. There was no way I was able to do the market recap yesterday, that is for sure. So yeah, never again. It was not worth it. It's not worth your health to do something like that again. So I will always double check from now on what the humidity level is going to be, because I just don't cope with it. And Chris won't let me do it anyway. He's not going through that again either. So are you, Chris? No. He agrees. So, all right, so we'll get to what everyone wants to know. So, as I said, sold 21 items, a total of $222 worth, which I am surprised that we even sold that, to be honest. This time it was more cash than card, which is unusual. So it was $156 on cash. Card was $66. The fee to have the stall was $15 because it's off-peak time, and now I understand why. And the square fees was $1.06. So take the expenses out. Mind you, we probably spent $50 on drinks trying to rehydrate. So it was $205.94 that we ended up with. But yeah, like I said, I think we spent a lot on drinks. But then we realised when we got back into the caravan, we actually hadn't eaten all day. I think because you're so hot, you didn't get hungry or you didn't feel hungry, but it probably added to the way we were feeling as well. So that is the experience. I'll put in a very short clip here of when we hopped in the car. We'd finally finished packing everything up and got in the car. We had that air conditioner blasting as fast as we could. We just rode around town for half an hour trying to cool down. I'll do a quick clip because you'll see what we look like. We'd run a marathon, I tell you, like horrible. So I'll do that now, then we'll come back.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire.
So as you can see, obviously I can't show you or tell you what I was saying because the audio didn't work. I tell you what, we've had a GoPro since we started traveling 3 years ago. Had problems with it from the day we got it, but we'd spent the money on it. We weren't going to go somewhere. But I tell you what, I'm going to start saving up and getting another proper camera or something, because GoPros are just not worth the trouble, honestly.
Just overheat too
Yeah, they do. The overheat on, and it doesn't even have to be a really hot day in the overheat. It's crazy. All things like this go wrong and don't record the audio for some silly reason, or they just shut down for no reason, or you can't start it. But anyway, not going to the GoPro rant. That gets me going. So that is the recap of the market. Like I said, we will never ever put ourselves through that again. Yeah, wasn't good. Just before I finish this video, there is one thing that I want to go through. I actually did a pattern test for a fellow Aussie crocheter designer. This is her first, she has made quite a few patterns. Kim is her name, from Crafty Chaos Emporium on Instagram. She doesn't have YouTube at this stage. It is her very first pattern, and she asked me to test it for her and give her some feedback. And it is this guy here. So it's she has called it a squidget. So it's like a fidget toy for people that she had aimed at that are on the spectrum. She works with people with autism. That's close to my heart. I have a son with autism, and having these sort of sensory items are quite important. So this is Squidget. So you can actually change the pattern to what you have in your craft room. So Kim had put acrylic as the hair. I myself have a sensory thing to acrylic. I don't like touching it. And wool gives me the same ick. So I use this faux fur that I bought the other day to go on the chicks, but I thought it would look good for his hair. And then some velvet yarn I used for the little frilly tail. So it's basically a sensory toy. And then in the legs here is a bead. I put wooden bead in here. You can, like she suggests, that you could use a marble, but it's so you can sort of fiddle with it. You could turn it, kind of feel how you turn it inside the leg. So again, it's that sensory feeling, real touch little toy. I'm just giving him some purple eyes. So I think this will do really well. I used the blanket yarn that we get here from Spotlight, the Modavira blanket yarn. I might, excuse me, do another one where I use a nice silky chenille yarn. Will add to the nice sensory feel to this guy, but I think this will do really well. So this pattern is now released on her Instagram, so if you go check it out, I will add her link to her Instagram page. I won't do the actual post because they can go wrong sometimes, but I'll link her actual Instagram, and then you can find her post with this free pattern. So please go and support a fellow crocheter, an Australian one too. She has many ideas going through her head of what different patterns that she would like to put out. So I'm sure we'll see more from her soon. So I think this was a great pattern for her first written one. So I'd like to see more that she'll come up with. Anyway, that is all for today's video. We are moving Wednesday to a new town. I had looked, there is no markets there when we're going to be there. We actually missed it. It was this weekend. So we'll be there 1 week, and then we're moving to the next town after that. And I'm already booked into a market there, and that will be the 2nd of March. So although I don't need to market prep much because I only sold 21 items, and like I said, I have a lot of stuff. I really, really have a lot of stuff, and it's really hard to display it without overwhelming people. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. So if you have any suggestions of how to do that, keeping in mind that I can't really buy that many items because I live in a caravan and we can't fill up with many more things. So any suggestions, that'll be great. But so that'll be prepping for market. Don't really need to do that, but I do have an idea for another video for midweek. So we'll see you then, and thank you so much for your support. And thank you, I must say, to the support I've received for my first pattern that I recently released on my Instagram, Big Booty Bob the Frog. I am so surprised at how popular he has been, and I'm so thankful for my pattern testers for this. So before I end this video, I'll just display here my pattern testers results of Big Bob, and so I would like to especially thank Heather from Cottontail Crafts, who gave me so many laughs when she was making hers. She was sending me messages and singing to me that he had this bootylicious bottom. So thank you, Heather, because you made my night that night. That was so funny. So, and this, I found this crafting community, the crocheting community, is so supportive. We have so much fun together, and I'm making lots of friends, even though we live on the other side of the world from each other. It's been amazing. So thank you to my testers, and display their pictures here, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Bye.